All right, Miss Grace, whenever you are ready.
That'd be a good idea.
That would be good.
The creation and increased use of social media without a doubt can benefit America as possibilities of technology continue to increase. But with these come major negative effects. What makes America so unsure if technology is beneficial enough to outweigh the negative effects that it also brings? This ongoing controversial debate brings up the question, how has social networking impacted the interpersonal and emotional relationships between teenagers? When studying the impact that phones and social media has on a person's emotional health, researchers usually use teens as a subject due to their reliance and excessive use of social media. The media dependency theory is a theory that states that someone who's dependent and relies on their cell phone will need it for a certain amount of time throughout the day in order to feel fulfillment and happy. Another part of this theory is that social media addiction creates a dependency between social media and a social system. This theory also states that when a person becomes more dependent on social media, it can have a greater effect on them and have a tighter grip over their lives. As the amount of use of social media by teens continues to increase, so does the negative effects that it also brings to their communication skills and emotional well-being. This is why developing a reliance on social media at such a young age is dangerous to one's emotional health. This reliance on social media in return can lead to a full-blown addiction. This chart shows that 19% of people who are under the age of 25 will wake up during the night and check their phone. This shows an example of reliance on cell phones due to their excessive use. The development of addiction to social media is dangerous to a teenager's emotional well-being. The addiction develops over time and starts as a reliance until it becomes unhealthy. In a study with 449 participants, 68.9% of them were categorized as non-problematic users, 24.4% as problematic users, and 6.7% were categorized as full-blown addicted to the internet. This chart shows that 53% of people between the ages of 13 to 17 years old couldn't go one day or less without checking their cellular device. Only 18% could go more than one day without checking their phone, and 18% could go more than a week without checking their phone. According to the Child Mind Institute, online communication and texting doesn't necessarily hinder one's ability to communicate and give them a nonverbal learning disability, but it does cause a teen to pay less attention to important details when having a face-to-face conversation, such as body language, facial expressions, and reactions being made verbally. When communicating online, it is difficult to interpret completely what is being said. When teens are able to talk about how they feel out loud, they make and maintain friendships better. This ability is hindered when using social media to communicate. The Child Mind Institute is an independent national nonprofit organization dedicated to transforming the lives of children and families struggling with mental health and learning disabilities. A quote from the struggle to govern that I used, to govern the commons that I used in our research is, communities maintain frequent face-to-face communication and dense social networks, sometimes called social capital, that increased potential for trust, allow people to express and see emotional reactions. This quote from the article, The Struggle to Govern, shows the negative effects of social media because it discusses how communication face-to-face allows for a better conversation and more interactions between two people and the ability of someone to read body language when talking in person. Thomas Dietz is a professor of sociology and director of environmental science and policy program at Michigan State University. He has 20 years of experience teaching introductory social statistics. He is the author of many successful books. The time spent engaging with others has decreased or become completely non-existent due to the increased use of social media. With all this time spent on social media, teens' ability to experience empathy or feel it towards others is decreased. It has even been questioned if excessive use of social media can lead to shorter attention spans. Social media can possibly damage a teen's ability to communicate by allowing them to hide from real life and hide behind a screen and not be able to build up courage when talking in person and say what they want to say. Factors that increase and decrease depression tend to affect teenagers when using social media. If they use social media actively, then they have a greater chance of becoming depressed. Another factor that makes a difference would be gender. A noticed common pattern is that girls spend a long time on social media and having a great deal of emotional distress. This can also cause anxiety and negative stress. According to Michelle McNichol, While scrolling through social media, teens see other people's positive posts about their lives, such as posting when they're on vacation, hanging out with friends or family, or any other type of fun activity. Other social media users begin to believe that their other lives are better than their own. This in return can cause them to be depressed. These posts tend to not completely portray a person's actual real life, but only capture the positive aspects of it in order to be accepted by social media. Michelle L. Nichol graduated from the University of New England in 2015 with a Bachelor of Psychology honors. She currently works for the Department of Education in Tasmania as a provisional psychologist. This chart demonstrates the ways that social networking platforms can affect a teen's emotional health. For example, you can see how Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter can all cause depression in teens, which is a negative feeling. A solution that could potentially help fix this problem is if parents set stricter rules to decrease the teens' amount of time that they use social media. This would be hard because not all parents agree with the fact that there is a problem wrong with the amount of time their kids spend on social media. Another issue with this is what most of teens do is technology-based, and they have become to rely on cell phones for almost everything they do. The transfer of learning how to function without technology may be emotionally stressful for teens. Another solution to this issue may be to spend their time elsewhere and make them aware of the negative effects that can possibly be caused by excessive use of social media. This issue with the solution is that it would require financial support that the campaign might not necessarily have. In conclusion, social media does come with its fair share of positive advantages along with the many negatives that it has on teens. But teens can find a way to use social media responsibly rather than becoming addicted to it and relying on it. Then social media and technology in general will have a majority of beneficial advantages, but until then it continues to be toxic to teens' communications skills and emotional well-being. Those are my sources.
Okay, couple of questions for you. How did your research question evolve as you moved through the research process? And did your research go into a different direction than you originally planned?
Well, originally I was interested in doing my research based on how does social media affect someone in a school environment or their schoolwork at home. And then we realized that there wouldn't be maybe not perfect evidence for that to explain directly for that. And so then I started with the interpersonal relationships and then evolved into interpersonal and the emotional effect that it has because they go hand in hand.
Okay. What additional questions emerged from your research, and why were the questions important?
So after doing my research, I got in towards the middle of it that it did cause depression, and I really wanted to go through and figure out how it caused depression in teens, because the whole thing was about emotional well-being, and obviously depression has to do with emotions. And so I went through and just asked the question, how does it cause depression, and then put that in my paper.
Okay, thanks.